Yes, guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel. We're back in the car again. I've decided today we're going to move over to the driver's seat because we have got some big news to talk about once again. Unfortunately, this video today isn't the most positive one. It isn't the most optimistic one, and we're going to be talking about Neil Bath and Jim Fraser being shock exits from Chelsea Football Club this summer. If you don't know who these guys are, I'm going to tell you in today's video. We're going to tell you what it could potentially mean for that academy structure at Chelsea. Obviously, there's been a lot of background changes throughout the club since the new owners have come in. And I want to talk about the nature and the way that these guys are leaving the club. But before we do get into that, though, this is not a plea, because a plea makes it sound like I'm desperate for something, but I'm not really desperate for anything. I would just love to know if you guys are from the US and you live in any of the cities that Chelsea will be travelling to for the pre-season tour. I'd love for you to introduce yourself to me in the comments down below, because I'd love to meet you and have a bit of fun. Have a few beers. Let me know some things that I could get up to with my girlfriend in some of the places that Chelsea are playing in the United States this summer. I'd love to hear from you in the comments down below. I kind of want to make this like a GBFC tour a little bit. There's 300,000 people nearly that subscribe to this channel. And I would love to meet some of the followers that we have in the US for this pre-season tour. Some of the stadiums that we're playing in are absolutely massive. So there's a big potential here, and I'd like to kind of make something fun out of this. So I'd love to meet you. Let me know where you're from, what we should do in the comments down below. So we begin today, though, with the news. Huge breaking news from Chelsea. Jim Fraser has left Chelsea with Neil Bath set to follow. This then comes from Fabrizio Romano. Neil Bath and Jim Fraser have both left Chelsea Academy, as Chelsea Youth reported. There will be massive change of the academy at Chelsea to be led by Joe Shields and Sam Jewell as part of the club's plan. This, to me, is a massive shock. If you don't know who Neil Bath is specifically, none of this has been announced officially yet by Chelsea Football Club, but Chelsea Youth is a really reputable source of information on Chelsea Academy and the players through there. Neil Bath has been working at Chelsea since before I was born. He started working at Chelsea in 1993, and he's been working on the youth development side of Chelsea Football Club for that time. He's seen the likes of John Terry come through. He's ushered and helped the likes of Reece James, Mason Mount, Hudson-Odoi, Tammy Abraham. The list of players goes on. Neil Bath has had a massive say in the quality that Chelsea have seen come through the academy. When Roman Abramovich came in, a lot of people just say, oh, well, he ruined Chelsea, ruined football, he spent too much money and the landscape's never been the same. What Roman Abramovich also did was invest heavily in the academy at Chelsea Football Club, so that we didn't just improve the first team, we improved the infrastructure. And in order to improve the infrastructure of a football club from the very bottom, you've got to employ some of the best heads in football, some of the people that are going to be able to work with youngsters to a level where, as these young kids who are in the Chelsea academies become teenagers, particularly in the modern world where you got mobile phones, social media, interesting girls, all of these things. It's not just look at the quality of footballers that Chelsea have had through their academy. It's also what happens off the pitch, which is also so important. And both Jim Fraser and Neil Bath have been such potent. They've been such powerful figures at Chelsea Football Club. And to see them both leave in the same window is a bit of a shock to anyone that knows anything about the internals at Chelsea Football Club for the last 20, 30 years. So what does this mean? With Joe Shields and Sam Jewell expected to be the guys leading the Chelsea Academy, I'm not saying that we're not going to be in safe hands. I'm just going to say this. When everything changes, sometimes everything can change, and because everything changes in one go, it can be too dramatic. It can be too drastic, and things might not be as good as they were. Things might not be the same as they were. And in this case, I think if you look at anything that's been consistently brilliant, and it's been like an upward curve for Chelsea over the years, it's the quality of players that we have bought through the academy. And like I said at the start here, you cannot underestimate. It's not just about the football and technical ability of these players. It's also about the man management, or the kid management, I guess you could say, off the field. So in order for Chelsea to have been so successful in developing academy players, I really do hope that all of these wholesale massive changes to the academy structure are not going to push Chelsea back. The way that we have seen all of the wholesale changes of the first team squad take Chelsea backwards, I'm really hoping that the same impact isn't going to be had. Another thing I will say here about this is that I think a lot of the reasons why it's not sackings. Chelsea Football Club aren't saying to Neil Bath, look mate, thank you for your 31 years of service, you're fired, Alan Sugar style. These are Neil Bath, Jim Fraser, they're leaving off their own backs. It's being reported that it's an amicable break from Chelsea Football Club, which, to me, if you know that you've been doing a great job with the academy, but yet you see what Chelsea Football Club are doing to any player right now who has been successful in the Chelsea academy, what Conor Gallagher has done in the last 2 years has epitomised the brilliance of the work that Chelsea academy youth development people like Neil Bath and Jim Fraser have done. The moment that Conor Gallagher plays a 37-game season, becomes a mainstay, captains Chelsea for the majority of the season, all the club want to do is sell him. So if you're Neil Bath and you're Jim Fraser, you're looking at the work that you've done to make these players who they are, what they are, Chelsea players, the heart and the soul of the football club, and you're seeing these new owners come in and be like, right, profit, sell, get rid of, we'll buy a Brazilian. It undermines all of the work that these guys have done. So as much as I can sit here and explain to you, Joe Shields, incredible footballing brain. Sam Jewell, also apparently, incredible footballing brain. This could work. But at the same time, I'm a Chelsea fan from 1994. This guy's been there longer than me. So to see someone want to leave the club after having success as part of the development squad, part of the youth development at Chelsea more like, then this is seriously concerning for what the internals at Chelsea feel like, what the heart and soul of the club is. To have these people wanting to leave, not being sacked, but wanting to leave, tells me that the changes that are happening are going to be disrupting the identity of the club. They're already disrupting the identity of the club. And until Chelsea are consistently finishing back in the places that we once were, I'm going to be concerned about all of this. Yes, overall, it's the success of Chelsea Football Club, the growth of Chelsea in a sustainable way that I've bought into with these new owners. But I hate seeing so many wholesale changes to the foundations of this club. It makes me sad, and it makes me very concerned about where we're heading in the future. That's my thoughts on that. We're going to move now into some more Chelsea news, but please let me know your thoughts on both Jim Fraser and Neil Bath leaving Chelsea Football Club this summer. The next piece of news here is it is anticipated, this is where the video goes south. It is anticipated that Robert Sanchez will start as Enzo Maresca's first choice goalkeeper, and he will be expected to perform a similar role to that of Ederson at City and the one Mads Hermansen mastered at Leicester last season. I feel as though this is a joke. April Fools was the 1st of April. We're now on the 4th of July. It's election day. And I feel as though what we've done here is we have elected a goalkeeper who just is nowhere near good enough to be even at Chelsea Football Club, let alone first choice goalkeeper. Now, I know that it comes very much across like I have an agenda against Robert Sanchez, and you'd be correct. I do. I've got an agenda against him because I just don't think he's very good. I don't think he's a great shot stopper. I certainly don't think he's very good with his feet. And the fact that Enzo Maresca wants to be able to play out from the back, he wants to be able to start attacks with the goalkeeper, and he did that at Leicester last season, and we're seeing here comparisons to like an Ederson at City role. It is just absolutely mind-blowing, and if this is the case, then Enzo Maresca and Chelsea have absolutely missed the trick here. And I would love to be proved wrong, and I always say it, I'll eat a slice of humble pie if my negativity turns out to be me just being yes, stick to making YouTube videos, mate. You're never going to work in football. Do you know what I mean? I love for that to be the case here. I really would. I would love for Sanchez to come good. But the fact of the matter is, I don't think I've ever been so sure on a call. I really don't think this is going to work. I don't think Sanchez has shown anything at his time at Brighton or at Chelsea that he can be an absolute mastermind of a playing out from the back goalkeeper. I don't think he's good enough with his feet. I think his distribution, as much as the percentages might be good, all he's got to do is pass the ball to Thiago Silva 6 yards. Do you know what I mean? Like, this doesn't mean that he can start attacks. It doesn't mean he can get assists like Ederson does. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is so far off the mark from Chelsea that it's mental. I watched Diogo Costa. Some people say he's a bit too much like Kepa. Unbelievable goalkeeper for Portugal. 3 penalties saved in a row. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Mamardashvili, also brilliant for Georgia during the Euros. Valencia keeper. And you've also got players like Jan Sommer. I know he's old now, but like, if we're not going to find the right goalkeeper for now, Jan Sommer, the Swiss keeper, also a better option than Robert bloody Sanchez. So, if we do start the season with Sanchez in goal, I'll back him. Pre-season, I'm going to be there in the US. I'm going to be watching the guy live. We're going to see how each position, not just Sanchez, but defence, midfield, attacks, substitutions, whatever. We're going to see how these players adapt to the way that Enzo Maresca wants them to play. But if there was one position that I'm sure we need to strengthen in, it's the goalkeepers. I like Petrovic. I just don't think he's that good with his feet yet to be ready to play this kind of football. And Sanchez was never ready. So that is my position on that one. Speaking of positions, let's take a look now at Chelsea's position in the race to sign Riccardo Calafiori, who we spoke about at length yesterday. Arsenal are ahead of Chelsea for Riccardo Calafiori. This isn't a good sign. They have presented their proposal to him along with the project, and he's open to joining them. Chelsea want to include players in the deal, so let's see what happens. This is tweeted from Chelsea Dodgers. Chelsea is still there, looking for Calafiori, but when you look at Bologna, they've got Champions League football next year. Yes, Calafiori is currently on about €15,000 a week, which is not a lot. And Arsenal also have that potential of offering Champions League football. This is just something we're going to have to get used to at Chelsea. If we're not competing for the highest honours in Europe, we are going to miss out when it comes to battling. And Arsenal want to spend the money. Chelsea want to spend the money for top players. We're going to miss out if we don't have Champions League football. So this season, it is so key that we manage to get that. And I think over the course of the next few days, I want to make a video here where I talk about the best signings that Chelsea could have, because I'm looking at the ones you've already got. Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall, I think, is a really astute signing. I'm actually really excited to see what he can do. Mark Yu is also exciting. You can't not be excited about signing a forward from Barcelona for £5 million. And I also think Tosin is a bargain for free as a centre-back, backup or cover or whatever. Can play with the ball at his feet too, so could be useful in a Maresca system. If we miss out on Calafiori, then I'm not entirely sure where we go. I think if you look across centre-backs in Europe right now, we want someone that can play with their left foot. We do have Levi Colwill. And when we bring it back to the stories that we spoke about at the start of this video with your Neil Baths, you've also got players that he's brought through like Fikayo Tomori. How we could have done with having Fik Tomori at the club right now. And this is where Chelsea need to learn. We're always in the market to buy players in this position, buy players in that position. And quite often, there is always an example of an academy player that we have sold whilst we're looking to go and spend 2x, 3x, 4x on a player from across Europe. So this is where Chelsea need to be so careful. We have got an amazing academy that has been ran so well. And we have had players come through, even your Ruben Loftus-Cheeks. Imagine what he could have done in a Maresca team. Do you know what I mean? I'm not just saying it's all about the academy. I know a lot of people are like, oh, you just love anyone for... Yeah, I do love the academy players because that is what the heart and the soul of the club is. And that's the kind of fan that I am. So it's not about, oh, you only back the English ones. You only back the academy ones. That's nonsense. I just don't want to see Chelsea paying inflated prices because we're Chelsea and because European clubs need the money that they don't get from the Premier League when we could have had those players coming through because of your Neil Baths. And I don't want us to be spending stupid money to then have to be going and buying players from Leicester and Villa every year just so that we don't break PSR rules. That's what I want. So it isn't a stupid thing to constantly back the academy players or to have, oh, you only like the English ones. I want to make that point. I really do. Thank you guys for watching this video. Subscribe if you are new. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for a brand new one. Come on, you Blues.